Before you summon Zani, let's have a quick and casual chat about how I feel about her, some concerns I actually have about how her kit works, and just more importantly, who it does or doesn't work with, and just her overall reliability on certain teammates, weapons, or the Spectro Frazzle debuff itself. I'll go over briefly just a little bit on her team options, her weapon, and what I myself will be using, and just a general vibe check pre-release from you guys in the comment section, and also just with only the official information shown by Kuro. TLDR, this is not a full guide on how she plays, her builds, and all the other extra stuff. I'll leave that to the day one guide makers who actually have hands-on experience with Zani. This is just more of just a discussion video pre-release. It's kind of like what I prefer to do. I will be doing an impressions video though, a day or so after her release, once I've played around with her for a bit in a couple of different team comps and stuff like that. And then we'll also touch base probably before her banner leaves as a post-release style of videos, because I'll actually have the unit myself to test. First things first though, ladies and or Zani flavored men, welcome back to the channel. My name is Zeno, and let's talk about Zani before she releases. Although as of recording, this is very close to when her banner drops, so this is coming in hot, guys. Sorry for the late video. Remember, if you like what I do here, the best way to support small creators like me is just like the video, so YouTube knows it doesn't totally suck. Subscribe if you're new, join the Discord to chat to the community there, or become a member of the channel to support me directly. Okay, so upfront opinions. I think Zani is going to be a super strong DPS unit. I think she's going to be super fun to play, very rewarding as she mixes in a block and parry system with her shield, alongside that damage mitigation she's got in her kit as well. I think she looks super flashy. Her sound effects are amazing. When her shield hits enemies, it just sounds really cool. I think her transformation to the Super Saiyan Beast Mode thing, dude, just overall, Zani's just cool as hell. And I think people are really going to love her, mostly. I also think that if you do not own Phoebe on your account and you do not maybe enjoy her character, do not plan to pull her in the upcoming rerun banners during Anniversary, your Zani playtime, whether that's casual or endgame meta-wise, will be impacted. I do believe that a Zani that does not have a Phoebe in their teams to apply Spectral Frazzle to the degree that Phoebe can apply them, that has to use Spectro Rover instead, will maybe not find Zani as fun to play or as strong as they'd like, which is definitely something that I'm going to get into in today's video. As for my personal plans, I'm summoning for her. If you saw my Shorekeeper summon video on the channel, I now have a guaranteed ready to go, so I'll also be getting a weapon as well. I've loved the idea of Zani since I started this game in 2.0, and her voice, her design, and now especially her gameplay. I'm all in, man. However, I also do recognize that I am also in a privileged position to enjoy Zani more than maybe a lot of the community will, or realizes that they will be able to. So let's break that down first and what I mean by that. Zani is a character that absolutely relies and is tied to the Spectro Frazzle debuff being applied to enemies from any source in the team to help her build up her own personal damage and buff stacks, so when she does go into her liberation mode where she transforms, she can unleash really big, cool, flashy combos based on the amount of stacks that was generated prior to entering beast mode. This is just kind of like Phoebe all over again, but kind of worse, where Zani is absolutely tied to another unit in the team, kind of like Phoebe. However, for the most part, for the last 2 months, I have been using Spectro Rover as Phoebe's applicator. This is mostly more than fine. Is it a bit slightly really clunky? Yeah, absolutely. But as Spectro Rover is more of a single target focused applier, and Phoebe by design is more of an AoE unit, so there is definitely some game modes where that combo specifically has not been as fun to play, and is maybe not even cleared in time for me actually, like Whimpering Waste for example, but it has worked to the most degree. Zani feels like she's similar, however, she wants a lot more Spectro Frazzle stacks generated and a lot faster than what I think Spectro Rover is capable of doing in place of Phoebe. The issue many in the community seem to be having pre-release for a while now is how tied to Zani is Phoebe in the team. Phoebe herself can use Spectro Rover, and I am absolutely positive, to whatever degree it may end up being, that Zani herself as well can also use Spectro Rover. However, I do think the damage difference and the Spectro debuff applied and the team rotation time they'll be a fairly monstrously different as a stand-in for Phoebe compared to Phoebe's own personal teams using Rover herself. Just to get into Phoebe a little bit more, part of Phoebe's kit in her outro, and even in her best in slot weapon, which boosts Spectro damage to just such a degree higher than whatever the Rover team can do, this feels like a little bit more egregious in terms of options available to the players. In blue debuffing stance, Phoebe's outro gives a 10% Spectro Res Shred, a 100% Spectro Frazzle damage amplification, and it extends the damage intervals of Spectro Frazzle by 50% for a whopping 30 seconds, which is huge. Part of Zani's kit is applying as many Spectro Frazzle stacks as you possibly can, as fast as you can, and buffing Zani so that when she transforms, she has more combos available, and they seem to be tied to the amount of stacks that you can generate prior. Now, Phoebe can do this effortlessly in her blue debuffing stance. She can generate 10 stacks with her heavy attacks, another 8 stacks with her liberation, and even another stack upon entering the debuff stance itself. So we're talking like 19 plus stacks of Spectro Frazzle, which can charge up Zani's buffs to a near max or maximum total. Phoebe basically makes it so when you outro into Zani along with the outro buff itself, and even possibly her signature weapon buff, Zani is amped up to go straight into her transformation with near or max near stacks to burst down the enemies, counter with her shield, and she'll look flashy as hell doing it, and just do like a ton of damage with some decent AoE attached. The problem, of course, is using Rover as a substitute though. They're not even close in terms of buffing and Spectro applying. They can apply up to 10 stacks with 2 skills and a liberation, and that's like kind of it, and it takes a lot longer fill time as well. So that's basically like 50% less just in the Spectro Frazzle department, and a far longer rotation time, not including any of the buffs that Phoebe gives as well. As of recording, I'm actually unsure that if you swap off Zani during her transformation state, she loses it, as to where maybe you can swap back to Rover to apply more, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it works at all, as you want the stacks prior to transformation, but maybe that's just me trying to cope here. The point is, I think yes, Rover will be an okay substitute for Phoebe for a free-to-play option. I'll definitely test it out myself, and I'll get back to you guys in a first impressions video, but watch this space in terms of other content creators who are able to do day one guides. Look at Prywin, look at Reddit threads, all the theory crafters that do math. They will be able to tell you the difference, because I think the community needs to be ready. If you do not like Phoebe and you don't have her, or you just don't want to get her during the anniversary and can't afford to get her on the rerun, Zani has a chance that she might feel incomplete or clunky to play, and maybe just not very strong overall. So just make sure you do your research before you pull, and just wait to see that if that applies to you at all. Another quick example actually is Brant. Brant using his signature weapon on the Tidebreaker Echo set, and Brant using, say, the Emerald of Genesis on the fusion damage set. There is a difference, but it wasn't as much as the community thought prior to release, which I was so happy to be wrong about, by the way. Same goes for Zani. I want nothing more than the theory crafters and guide makers in the community to get their hands on Zani, use her on the Spectro Frazzle Echo set, or maybe even just use her on the Spectro damage set. Use her with Phoebe, use her with Rover instead, test out different weapons, and hopefully like the difference isn't enough to like make or break the unit and the fun factor. But just like any pre-release video, I just want to warn people and say, hey, this could be a thing, so do your research before you summon if that itself is a negative factor for you in enjoying Zani and her gameplay. If it's not, like, just pull away and enjoy her, but just I want to make sure everyone keeps their expectations in mind and in check. The last main thing is weapon, Blazing Justice. It's a very good weapon, made for Zani as her best in slot, obviously. I saw some people talking about how her weapon is exclusively tied to her only, and it won't be good on anyone else, and I'm not sure entirely I agree with that. The weapon has like really high base attack. It's got like a 48.6% crit damage, 12% attack boost upon basic attacks, a 6% defense ignore. Yes, the Spectro Frazzle damage part passive is only going to be for Zani herself, but as like a general stat stick and being able to use 2 out of 3 of the passives, it's a pretty damn good generalistic gauntlet weapon. Is it the best? No. If you have Rosia, this is probably her second best option. Now, would I summon for this weapon for other gauntlet users? No, it's not like a String Master for Gauntlets, but it's rather decent. If I myself wasn't getting it for Zani, the only other options I could see myself using would be like the 4-star Wise Stonard, a bit of liberation damage, a crit rate, main stat, or the Legend of the Drunken Hero for a bunch of attack boosts maybe. I don't really have any other options myself. Rosia would be great if you had hers. Zhang Liao's looks pretty damn good too if you have his, but the damage drop-off might be extreme without her Seek as well, but not nearly as important as I think having Phoebe on her team would be. I'm gonna try and run her with Shorekeeper on the team too, just to see if that works out well, boosting her damage up, and or if just the rotations feel too long or feel worse, or just if I need to use Shorekeeper on another team. I'll happily use Verena like I was in the Phoebe team the last couple of months, so there's no issues there. Alright, as this video is getting kind of close to her release, I will just kind of have to leave it there. I'm gonna go edit this, and I got other videos to make as well. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Look forward to a Zani summon video, and then a first impressions in a few days, and just yeah, good luck for those going for her. Let me know how you go, and I think I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for watching and or listening, and as always, my name is Zeno, and you guys take care now.